Boeing is on track to lose its title as the world's biggest plane maker to its European rival Airbus. The troubled US firm says plane deliveries dropped by more than a third in the first half of the year as Boeing struggles to contain the backlash over its grounded 737 MAX aircraft. This as US airlines prepared to reveal the financial impact of the MAX scandal. Paolo Montecillo reports.
Multi-million-dollar jets are piling up at Boeing's factory in Washington. The company hasn't stopped building 737 MAX jets. It just hasn't been selling many of them. The plane's been grounded around the world since March. That's after 2 deadly crashes in the span of half a year.
We are collaborating closely with the FAA and with global regulators as we work safely to unground the MAX, and we are making solid progress. But our regulators will decide when the MAX returns to service, and I won't speculate on a date.
Boeing's reputation has taken a hit due to safety concerns involving its best-selling jet. The company says deliveries fell by 37% in the first half of the year. The Saudi-based airline Flyadeal canceled a $6 billion order for 737s this week. Indonesia's Garuda did the same for an order worth $5 billion in March. Oman Air and the UAE's Fly Dubai have also said they're considering replacing 737 orders for Airbus jets. British Airways owner IAG recently said it would order 200 737 MAXs, but at a substantial discount. Boeing is still working to fix a technical glitch linked to the Ethiopian Airlines crash in March and Lion Air crash in October. It's also committed $100 million to help the families of the 346 people who died in the 2 crashes. But those families say that's not enough.
Ideally, what they are doing is to apologize in a colorful manner, and any apology is acceptable. But that apology, any apology that is offered does not eliminate the need to seek reparations.
Last month, regulators found an undisclosed problem with the planes that could endanger passengers, further delaying the 737 MAX's return to the skies. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
Let's get more on this now from Skift Airline Weekly editor Madhu Unnikrishnan, who joins us from San Francisco. Welcome back to Money Talks, Madhu. So, no new orders for the grounded 737 MAX aircraft. That's not surprising in itself, but deliveries of other aircraft are down almost 40%. How worrying is this for Boeing?
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me. It is worrying, of course, because the company is not selling its best-selling aircraft, its most popular aircraft. But I think, in the long, you have to look at sort of the bigger picture here. I mean, the timeline for deliveries for this aircraft are very long. So, if you wanted to go up and buy, Oscar, you wanted to go buy a 737 MAX today, you wouldn't get it for a few years. So, in other words, it has the backlog and it has the time to iron out the difficulties it's facing now and restore sort of a delivery timeline. As you know, Boeing is still building the aircraft, although at a slower rate, and they're sort of, just waiting for delivery. To back up a little bit, International Airlines Group just last month in Paris, during the Paris Air Show, made a very large order or letter of intent for MAX aircraft. So, I think in the short term it could be painful for Boeing, but in the longer term, it'll work itself out.
Now, these latest delivery figures from Boeing come just a day after the Saudi Arabian budget carrier Flyadeal cancelled a $6 billion order for the 737 MAX jets. How surprising is that, given that the plane is still considered not worthy to fly, and perhaps it'll take a while for the public to have faith in flying in one of those jets?
How surprising is it that Flyadeal canceled its order?
It's not surprising, is it?
No, it isn't really. I mean, there were, as you mentioned in the opening, Garuda has canceled an order, Flyadeal has canceled an order. I'm not sure if we'll see more. I mean, some of these order cancellations were marginal. Garuda may have wanted to get out of a very large deal to begin with, but we haven't seen any of the major carriers that have announced orders, like American Airlines or Lufthansa or what, the carrier of that scale cancel yet. So I'm still taking sort of a wait and see approach to this problem.
Okay, so in your view, if one of the big airlines announces that it's pulling out of a 737 MAX deal, then that really is a bad sign for Boeing.
Yes, that would be a very bad sign. And in terms of the customer, customer confidence, there, once again, I mean, you have to remember that most people who buy an airline ticket don't know what aircraft they're boarding when they fly. So I think in the short term, there will be some pain. Some customers will book away when the MAX is recertified and returns to the sky. There will be some passengers who book away, but I think the overwhelming majority of people will accept the aircraft once it has been approved by regulators and it has flown for a few months.
Meanwhile, Airbus isn't without its problems. It's just been revealed that there are small cracks in some of the wings of its A380 super jumbo jet aircraft. What sort of an issue is this, and what does it mean for the airlines flying them?
Well, they're going to have to do their inspections. Regulators will make a call as to whether there will be mandatory inspections. But this was the A380 has had its share of problems, and Airbus has canceled the program altogether. The other thing is, there are not, even though it's a very large aircraft, it's a very high profile aircraft, it's not a huge number of A380s that are flying in the sky. It's just a few hundred, I imagine.
Okay, Madhu Unnikrishnan, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you for your analysis as always.